What's going on, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel fans? It's your boy Cal Life here, bringing another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video, and today we are going to be talking about the THERION ABC Dragon Buster deck. Now, THERION's was just announced for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, so I'm actually really excited. I know my boy Zilchi is super excited because he loves THERION's. But basically, what this deck can do is a lot of crazy things. You can end on the Appaloosa. Here's just a little side options. You could use a Bridge Dweller, you could use a Baguska, you could go Utopia Lightning, Utopia Route, or you could go Utopia Draco Feature. You know, you could do a lot of things. But I think what really makes this deck good is the fact that you could get a ABC Dragon Buster, immediately go into Underworld Goddess on your opponent's turn thanks to Maschiana, where it's indestructible, or you could go to Appaloosa. On top of that, you just end on a lot of interruptions and negates. So I think this deck is going to be really strong when it comes to Master Duel for the time being. But anyways, guys, if you like the channel, do not forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Hopefully, guys, you do enjoy this combo guide, as I did take some time to make sure I got you enough combos. I think I did like either 4 to 5. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Peace. Remember, hit that like button. Combo number 1, and it's going to feature just a 2-card combo. That's right, I said 2-card combo, which is going to feature Union Hanger and also THERION King Regulus. So anyways, let's go ahead and start off with Union Hanger, and we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves the BUSTER. From here, we're going to go ahead and summon out BUSTER while also allowing us to grab the Union Driver. Union Driver is then going to activate, allowing us to go ahead and summon out the Sea Crush. And now that we have Sea Crush onto the field, we can then go ahead and immediately go into a Platinum Gadget. Now, Platinum Gadget is going to allow the BUSTER to add a card to our hand, which is going to be our Assault Core. And at this point, we can then go ahead and summon out THERION, which we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves the BUSTER. So here comes the BUSTER onto the field. Then we can then activate Platinum Gadget. Now, we have to be careful because, as you can see, when we activate Platinum Gadget, we can summon a card to any link that it points to. So we're going to go and summon out the Assault Core. Then, by doing that, we can summon out the Buster Drake. And then at this point, we can go ahead and make ourselves a Maschiana. And at this point, we can activate BUSTER, which is going to allow us to add a card to our hand. I'm going to add ourselves the Assault Core. And finally, we can go ahead and make ourselves our big boy dragon, which is going to be the ABC Dragon Buster, onto the field. And at this point, what we end off on is a Platinum Gadget, a Maschiana, and an ABC Dragon Buster. Now, what really makes this an interesting play is we can then end our phase. And now the opponent is going to basically summon out a card or activate a card, right? Or, you know, anything that they do. We can then banish 1 card, so we can get rid of our Assault Core by discarding it to the grave. And what this is going to do is then target the card that's on the field. At that point, we can then send to the grave the ABC Dragon Buster, and we can use these 3 cards to be summoned onto the field. Now, this is really interesting because at this point, we do now have 3 monsters, and then the Union Driver will activate, allowing us to equip ourselves a BUSTER Dragon. And at this point, now we can use Maschiana, and we can immediately go into an Underworld Goddess, or we can go into Appaloosa. So I'm actually just going to go into Appaloosa. And now we have, at this point, Appaloosa with a 3200, allowing us to activate the BUSTER, and then allowing us to activate the Assault Core. So now we can add ourselves a Sea Crush Wyvern to the hand, while also adding a BUSTER Drake to the hand as well. With that, we could then add another card, which is going to be our Sea Crush Wyvern. So at this point, we ended up with a indestructible Appaloosa. We had the negate with the THERION King Regulus, which was an Omni, and on top of that, we had a banish because of the ABC. So that's just going to be 1 combo off of 2 cards. Let's get into the next combo. All right, so for combo number 2, we're also going to be showcasing another 2-card combos featuring Set Rotation in Rite of Asmir. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Set Rotation, it's actually a really interesting card as it allows me to go ahead and select 2 field spells in our deck and put one on our side and one on the opponent's side, both set mode. So we're going to go ahead and actually set the Union Hanger onto our side of the field, allowing us to grab ourselves the BUSTER Drake. We are then going to go ahead and activate Rite of Asmir, summoning out the Union token while getting us the Faithful Adventure. Then we can then go ahead and summon out our BUSTER. This is going to allow us to chain block. So we're going to go ahead and use Union Hanger to chain block chain 1, and then use Faithful to chain block for it, allowing us to grab the Draco back. And now we can go ahead and equip the Union Driver. So as you can see, we chain block so we can get Union Driver, and then at this point we are then going to activate the Faithful Adventure, allowing me to go ahead and toss out the Draco back, and then we can then equip Draco back to the Faithful to our Adventure token, and then we can then chain the Wandering Griffin, allowing us to get the Draco back onto the field. Now at this point, I'm going to activate Draco back's ability, Draco back's effect, allow me to then target the field spell, the THERION Disc Coliseum that we gave them. And at this point, we could then use Union Driver right here, allowing me to then summon out the Sea Crush Wyvern. Sea Crush Wyvern can special summon itself now onto the field. And this is going to be really interesting because now what we can do is go into Platinum Gadget. Platinum Gadget would then allow us to activate the effect of our BUSTER, allowing us to grab the A Assault Core. And then finally, we can activate our THERION field spell, allowing us to grab the THERION King Regulus. At this point, we are going to then target the BUSTER Drake when we activate THERION King Regulus, allowing us to summon out our King Regulus onto the field and allowing us to use our BUSTER Drake. Now I'm going to activate Platinum Gadget, allowing me to summon out the A Assault Core, and then finally BUSTER Drake to go ahead and summon it out onto the field as well. We could then go into a Maschiana using Assault Core, and at this point we're going to then activate BUSTER Drake's effect. We are not going to be activating A Assault Core because that will allow us not to be able to do what we want. So now we have the A Assault Core in our hand, but the reason we didn't activate that is because we needed 3 cards in the graveyard. So as you can see, we could then banish all 3 of those cards, and we can summon our AB's Dragon Buster onto the field. And at this point, we have a discard for the interruption. We have a Maschiana onto the field. We have an Omni Negate in THERION King Regulus and an Omni Negate in Wandering Griffin Rider. Plus on top of that, I would say we can go into something using Maschiana, but because Platinum Gadget cannot be used as link material the turn that is summoned, we would then have to end our turn. And at this point, what we can do is the opponent will activate. If we wanted to, we can activate Maschiana's ability. And as you can see, we can go into all types of different things. If we wanted to go into Apollosa, we could. If we wanted to go into Cerberus, we could. It's really whatever you end up deciding, honestly. But let's just say we just want to go into the power of access code, right? We can then use these 2, and we could just go into an access code talker. Not saying it's ideal, but it's just something you could think about, right? And then you could just go ahead and target the link monster that you want to use. But on top of that, we still do have our interruption here. We have our interruption here. We have our Omni Negate here. So we have a lot of things we could do. It's really just up to you or what your opponent does. But that's going to be like the second combo. All right, so for our third combo, we are going to be showing off another 2-card combo featuring Union Hanger and Rite of Asmir. So first, we're going to activate the Union Hanger, and as you know, Union Hanger allows us to grab one of our ABCs. We're going to grab the Buster Dragon as always, and then we're going to activate the Rite of Asmir, summoning that into defense while activating the Faithful Adventure. From there, we're going to summon out BUSTER, and we're going to go and activate Union Hanger, Chainlink 1, and then Chainlink 2, Faithful Adventure, grabbing the Draco back. Now, this combo is going to be a little bit different as this time we're not going to discard the Draco back for the first time, right? We're going to discard something else. So we're going to activate Union Driver, allowing us to summon out our A Assault Core to equipped it. Then we can special summon that onto the field. And then from here, what we're going to do is go into a Maschiana play instead of the Platinum Gadget. From there, we're going to activate BUSTER, which is going to allow us to grab our last card, being the Sea Crush Wyvern. And then finally, we can activate this, allowing us to grab the Wandering Griffin. And this time, instead of discarding the Draco, we're going to discard Sea Crush Wyvern. And then with us discarding that, we could then go ahead and chain link to summon out the Griffin Rider. And finally, we can then go ahead and summon out the power of our dragon, which is going to be the ABC Dragon Buster. We're going to put it into defense. And now we're just going to go ahead and end our turn. And the reason I'm ending my turn off of Maschiana token and the Wandering Griffin is, you're going to see, we're going to keep the Draco back in our hand. So now the opponent is going to go ahead and normal summon. They're going to summon this Kozaki. I can't control what the AI summon, obviously, but now you can at least see this. We can activate ABC Dragon Buster, discarding the Draco back, and then we get to banish any card onto the field. So this is going to be one effect. And then finally, we're going to also activate the power of ABC Dragon Buster second effect, allowing us to summon 3 cards. So here we go. BUSTER, A Assault Core, and the Sea Crush Wyvern. And then finally, we're going to activate Union Hanger, and we're also going to go ahead and activate the Draco back. So now we can equip the Draco back to our faithful. We can then equip a BUSTER Drake, and then finally, because it's still the main phase, we can then activate this, allowing us to then summon out Apollosa. And this is going to give us a 3200 Apollosa, while also activating the BUSTER Drake and activating the A Assault Core, which is going to allow us to add the Sea Crush Wyvern to our hand, along with the A Assault Core to our hand. So if you can see, on that turn, we ended up on a 3200 indestructible Apollosa. We had a negate with the Wandering Griffin, and then on top of that, we had a banish with the power of ABC Dragon Buster, while also adding a Sea Crush Wyvern to our hand along with an A Assault Core, right? And now, as you can see, we ended up drawing into THERION King Regulus, which is going to be another negate, as if you're looking, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you can send one THERION monster card from your hand or face up field to the graveyard and negate that effect. So we would have ended on a whole bunch of negates, right? But anyways, let's get into the last combo. All right, guys, so this is going to be the last and final combo, and I'm going to be showing you what we can do with just a 5-card hand. I've been showing you a bunch of like 2 cards, and as you can see, we don't actually start out with our field spell as a THERION, but we do have the terraforming, which is pretty good, honestly. This hand is actually kind of cracked, and I'm going to show you why. So anyways, let's start off with the Union Hanger. Union Hanger is going to grab ourselves our 3rd copy, which is going to be the Sea Crush Wyvern. From there, we're going to activate that to get ourselves the Union Driver. So now, thanks to the Union Hanger, we can then use Union Driver to summon out the BUSTER. As you can see, it gets equipped, then gets summoned onto the field. And now this is where it gets a little interesting. So I know you guys have been seeing me go Maschiana, we've been going Platinum Gadget, but this time we're going to go into Bajinki. And you may be wondering what Bajinki does. Well, Bajinki is a card I used to use in Galaxy Eyes a lot. Basically, it allows you to immediately summon a card from your hand and also summon a card from the graveyard, which is very interesting because then it allows you to immediately exceed summon. So we're going to chain link one to Bajinki, and then we're going to go and chain link BUSTER Drake, and then chain link Sea Crush Wyvern. And this time we're going to summon out Assault Core. From there, we're going to grab the Assault Core again. And finally, I'm going to summon out Assault Core while summon out BUSTER. Now, you do want to make sure that you're paying attention, because as you can see, Bajinki only has one link zone it points to, which is going to be towards the right. So what we're going to do is now we're going to make our Bujenti Tsukiyomi, put it in defense because it has higher defense. Then we can activate this terraforming, which is going to allow us to grab the Therion Disc Colosseum, activate that effect, allow us to grab the King Regulus. We're going to then use King Regulus to summon itself. And once again, we're paying attention to our link zone that it points to. This time we're going to be able to get the Sea Crush Wyvern onto the field, right? So then we're going to go ahead and summon out Sea Crush Wyvern. So there we go. And finally, we're going to go ahead and put this face down. Now we can immediately go into a Maschiana play. And at this point, we are looking good because now we can activate our Assault Core while also activating our Sea Crush Wyvern. And we can summon out our BUSTER Drake while also using this to get our Sea Crush Wyvern onto our hand. Now, we're looking extremely cracked. And you may be wondering like, yo, well, what do you do right now? Well, now we can activate Tsukiyomi. And we're actually going to toss the Assault Core into the graveyard. And look at that, we just got lucky because we just ended up top decking into a Rite of Asmir off that draw 2 and a BUSTER Drake. So super good. Now we can activate the Rite of Asmir. We can put our Adventure token into defense. So before our combo was looking good, but now it's looking even better. And you may be wondering why. At this point, we're going to then link into a Apollosa. So we're going to use our BUSTER, our Maschiana, and finally we can use the Bugenti. And so here comes the Apollosa. It's going to have 2400. On top of that, because we just summoned, we can then activate BUSTER Drake and then activate the power of Faithful Adventure. This is going to grab us our Draco back while also grabbing us the Sea Crush Wyvern. And at this point, we will be activating Faithful Adventure once again, grabbing ourselves the Wandering Griffin. And finally, let's check what we have in our graveyard. We have a BUSTER, we have a Sea Crush, and we have an Assault Core. So what I'm actually going to do is toss out the Sea Crush into the grave, allowing me to go ahead and get ourselves the Wandering Griffin. Now we can go activate that and summon out our Wandering Griffin into defense. And then finally, we can then go ahead and get rid of 3 cards, summoning out the ABC Dragon Buster. Now at this point, if I wanted to, I could go ahead and toss out the Draco back, get rid of the Bujinki, and we can go into another ABC Dragon Buster. But there's no point in doing that as our hand is already cracked. We have a Apollosa that's literally indestructible. And then on top of that, if it tries to get like basically attacked and beat down, we do have the Therion Disc Colosseum. And what this card does is once per turn, when a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to graveyard, you can target one Therion monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. But it also has another once per turn effect. If your monster would be destroyed by battle, you can send one Therion card or one Endless Engine Angro system from your deck to the graveyard, which means we will be able to send Therion King Regulus to protect it. So at this point, we end up finishing off with an interruption because of ABC Dragon Buster, which is a banish. We have an Apollosa, Bow the Goddess, which is going to have 3 negates. We have another negate with Therion King Regulus, and on top of that, we have the Wandering Griffin Rider as another negate. So if we were to count how many negates we have 1 Omni, we have another Omni, which is basically you can send 1 Therion monster from your hand, or face up field to the graveyard, negate that effect. So 2 Omni negates, 3 monster negates, along with an interruption with the ABC Dragon Buster. So oh my gosh, this deck is cracked. Hopefully guys, you did enjoy the video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the combo guide. Peace.